Welcome back to GoGarrettCounty.com. Today, in episode 3, we're going to talk about essential seasonings and flavor building. Let's get started. Seasoning. When I think about seasoning, the first thing I think about is salt and pepper. But there's more to it than that. First, what kind of salt are you using? Second, is salt good for you? Which we will talk about in shorts later. Now, pepper. If you have that tin of pepper at home, sitting in your cabinet that's 3 years old, you need to get rid of it. You need to grind your own pepper. I can smell this pepper from here. Jaren just ground this pepper. There is a tremendous difference between buying store ground bought pepper and grinding your own peppercorns. Trust me on this one. Okay, next up, fats and oils. We're going to be talking about these right here. We will be talking about butter a little bit. Butter is not necessarily bad for you if you use it in moderation. But if you want to cut butter out of your diet, no problem. We'll give you some other alternatives. Now, olive oil. If olive oil comes in a bottle that looks like this and looks fancy, you probably don't want to cook with it. You want to finish with it and use it in salad dressings or for dipping, but not too much. Because remember, healthy eating, GoGarrettCounty.com. Right? Next, canola oil. We like this oil a lot because it's neutral, which means you can add different flavors to it. It would be hard to cook Asian food with this olive oil because it has such a strong flavor. Next, grapeseed oil. Neutral flavor, but it has a very high smoke point. So you can get it in a pan. The pan can get really hot and it won't burn. Next, we're going to talk about this at the end. This is sesame oil. We do not cook with this. We use it in Asian dishes, and we're going to show you a recipe at the very end of this segment, and it will be attached, and we'll show you what's up with that. All right, moving along. Fresh herbs. Let's talk about them. These four are all fresh herbs right here. There is a big difference between these two and these two. This is fresh dill. This is fresh flat-leaf parsley. This is rosemary, and this is fresh thyme. These are soft herbs. You have to be very gentle with them. You usually use them at the end. These two herbs, rosemary and thyme, can be used at the beginning of the cooking process, like we did in our chicken stock video, episode 2. Rosemary, very strong flavor. If you use sparingly, it's delicious. If you add too much, game over. Now, from here, we're going to go on to dry herbs. The one thing I can teach you about using fresh herbs, and we'll do this in the next video where we will start cooking, you always put fresh herbs in at the last minute. Soft herbs. These are okay. Hey! So, we took it outside. It was too nice of a day, so we brought this outside, and we're going to talk about, next we're going to talk about dry herbs. Dry herbs are great if you use them correctly and you use the right ones. I'm not a fan of the following dry herbs. Dry parsley, dried chives, and dried dill. Those are just a few. They are no good to you. I don't like them. I think they have no flavor. Here are a couple examples that we'll be using in the next segment. Dry basil, delicious. Dry oregano, fantastic. Great flavors in these. We'll show you how to use them. You will not be disappointed. Seasonings, let's talk about them. First up, chili powder. Second up, ancho chili powder. Now listen to me, there's a big difference between these two. This chili powder here has a combination of different things. It's not just straight chili powder. It has a lot of cumin. Not a fan at all. This is what we'll be using, pure chili powder, to show you how to cook these vegetables and protein. Garlic. Daisy here has fresh garlic or garlic powder or granulated garlic. They're all pretty good, but if I had to pick something, it would be fresh garlic every time. Cayenne pepper, spicy. Spicy food is good. Spicy food also makes you slow down when you eat. So that's something we'll talk about. Next up, my personal favorite of all time, smoked paprika. Smoky, sweet, and delicious. And finally, Jaren has curry powder. A lot of people don't know. Curry powder is a combination of all different herbs and spices.
Okay, hold on. We're gonna cut it here so Chef doesn't talk your ear off about curry. He would make a whole series about curry if you let him, so we're just gonna cut it here.
Alright, we're back from yesterday. We didn't get to finish up, so we were talking about dry herbs, and now we're going to go into your own favorite seasonings. When we show you some of these recipes, you can obviously adapt them and use your own favorite seasonings in some of these rubs like we have here. But be careful, some of them contain more sugar than you might want. And I also want to mention this right here is one of my favorite seasonings. You can find this on Amazon, or if you go to Morgantown, it is called Salsa Ranchera. It is delicious. Now, let's move on to vinegar and acid. These things will highlight and bring up the flavors in your food. We have all different kinds of vinegar here. We have balsamic, we have white vinegar. And this doesn't only have to be used for salad dressings. You can add a little bit into your dish and it'll really bring it up. And you can also do this with citrus. Another thing I like to tell people, we have some capers here. They're salty, and I think it's a good idea when you're eating healthy food. Once again, back to the acid. If you get some pickles, it just brings everything up. It's fantastic. Now what we're going to do is these guys are going to show you the recipe we promised you with all the Asian ingredients. Finally, we're going to make the salad dressing we've been talking about. This is going to be a spicy ginger miso vinaigrette. Here are the ingredients. We have rice vinegar, miso, vegetable oil, sesame oil, pickled ginger, soy sauce, red chili garlic paste, and if you don't have that, you can use sriracha. I know these ingredients sound strange, but they're not as strange as they seem. If you've ever eaten hibachi and had that salad, it's similar to that. And these guys are going to show you how to make it in the next segment. All right, the crew's got everything together. We have all our ingredients. You can make this in a blender at home. You want to take all the ingredients except for the oil, and you want to mix them up. And then you slowly want to add the oil into the blender while it's running so it emulsifies. With this, we really can't do that because there's no way to add the oil. But this is so powerful, it mixes it all together and we're good to go, and you'll see. One more thing. One ingredient that we forgot to talk about. There's sugar in this recipe. That's right, there's sugar, but just a tiny bit. And the dressing goes a long way, okay? It's not a lot of sugar. It'll be okay. If you really feel bad, you can just put some honey in there and it'll be fine. Let's get started. All right, let's try this dressing they made. Now remember, it doesn't take much. We're just going to put a little bit in here to coat it. You can always add more, but you can't take it out. Let's just toss this around. This is a little bit of purple cabbage, tomatoes, and cucumber with a little romaine lettuce. But you can use this dressing for anything. So any type of salad you like, you can use this, but just use it sparingly. So we're just going to put this on the plate. Oh, get over here. Let's see. And I think it's important to say too, when you eat healthy, it is important for your food to look nice. So now we're going to do this, and I guess we'll include this recipe on there. I don't know if I said that or not. Okay. How does that look? Let's do a little bit of sesame seed. Okay. I guess we could add a little bit more dressing. Maybe here. That's great. Boom. Let's try it. Go ahead, Julie. Don't be afraid. Dynamite. Spicy, a little bit sweet, salty, not in a bad way. GoGarrettCounty.com.